Hello and welcome to the second in a series of the Chevening webinars. Please note that this second webinar will only be relevant to you if you have fulfilled all the conditions of your Chevening Scholarship offer. Congratulations! You have now fulfilled all of these requirements and are about to embark upon your year as a Chevening Scholar here in the UK. And you may now be wondering what happens next. You do still have some work to do before you arrive in the UK, but your Programme Officer will be in touch with you to help you with these next steps. It may be that you have already done some of the tasks that we're going to go through today, but if you haven't, this webinar will give you more information and go through what you need to do from now on. Over the next 10 to 15 minutes, we will cover your final award letter, your CAS and visa application, accommodation in the UK, flights and arrival in the UK, cash cards and funding, and also a little bit about what it might be like when you first arrive here, particularly looking at culture shock, and finally, the British weather. Once your award has been confirmed, you will receive your final award letter, which will be sent directly to your High Commission or Embassy by your Programme Officer. Your Embassy or High Commission will then be in touch with you directly to let you know how and when you will receive this letter. Please be aware that once your letter has left the Programme Officer in London, they have no control over how long it will take for the letter to arrive at your Embassy or High Commission. But please don't worry. We ask that you be patient during this process and can assure you that you will receive your final award letter. Once you are in receipt of your letter, you should ensure that you make a few copies and keep one with you when you are travelling to the UK. Once you have received your final award letter, you will then be able to apply for your visa. In order to do this, you will also need a Certificate of Acceptance for Studies, or CAS, from your university. The Secretariat is not able to provide you with a CAS. You will need to contact the university directly to ask them for it. Each university has their own way of producing the CAS, but they should have explained the procedure in the information that they have already sent to you. If they haven't, simply get in touch with them and someone there will be able to help you further. Please make sure that you also send a copy of your final award letter to the university so that they can take the funding information into account and potentially remove an outstanding funding condition from your offer. Regarding your visa, you will be applying for a Tier 4 student visa. You will not be able to do this until you have your final award letter, so please don't try. You will be given more information about how to apply for your visa by the Secretariat. There is too much information to explain at this time, but further information can be found on the Chevening website. And if you have any further questions, you should simply contact your Programme Officer. Please don't be concerned about this though. The Secretariat will send you further instructions and also has a Senior Welfare and Immigration Officer here at the Secretariat who will be able to assist you with any queries that you have. Once you have your award letter, you will be thinking about where you will live when you come to the UK. We suggest that you seek advice about accommodation from an accommodation officer at the university where you are going to study. They have the local knowledge and will be able to assist you much better in finding appropriate accommodation. The Secretariat is unable to provide assistance to scholars in their search for accommodation. However, we strongly advise that all scholars take advantage of university or college housing where this is available. If you would prefer to stay in privately rented accommodation, you should be prepared to spend time in temporary accommodation, such as a hotel, upon arrival in the UK until you finalise more permanent arrangements, so you will need to ensure that you budget accordingly for this. Before signing any private accommodation contract, you should ask the housing advisor at your university to check that it is legally sound. You shouldn't assume that there will be sufficient places for all people who are seeking university accommodation, although larger universities or colleges which have their own halls of residence will do all they can to satisfy the demand. You should reply without delay to all communications from universities regarding accommodation. If you do choose to accept university residential accommodation, for example a college or hall of residence, you will normally be required to remain there for the full academic year. If you are a London-based scholar, you may also want to consider options such as International Student House and Good Enough College. If you are interested in these options, your programme officer will be able to provide you with further information. Unfortunately, however, the Secretariat is not able to act as a guarantor for scholars or pay accommodation deposits on behalf of scholars under any circumstances. Once your award has been confirmed, you will receive an email from your programme officer explaining the procedure for booking your flight to the UK. You will be given the contact details of the travel agency that is contracted by the Secretariat, and they will organise an appropriate flight for you that fits within the Chevening guidelines. These guidelines will be clearly set out for you in the email. Please note that you will not be able to specify the airline you wish to fly with according to their baggage allowance policy. Once your flight is booked, you will be able to contact the airline directly to add extra baggage, which you must then pay for yourself. There is further information about travelling to the UK on the Chevening website. We strongly recommend that you do not book your flight until you have your visa. If you do book your flight and then it has to be altered for any reason, you will be responsible for the costs of changing the flight. Therefore, we suggest you wait until you actually have your visa before attempting to book. When everything goes to plan, the cost of the flight will be charged directly to the Secretariat, so you won't need to worry about paying for the flight at all. Please remember that the Secretariat is not able to reimburse you for the costs incurred in bringing your dependents to the UK. You may use our agent to book flights for your dependents, however you must make the payment separately. But you are reminded at this point that the FCO strongly recommends that you do not bring your dependents with you on award. The value of the scholarship is calculated to support you only, and the Secretariat cannot help with visa applications or immigration matters for family members. Once you have your visa and have booked your flight, you are on your way to start your Chevening experience. When you arrive at the airport in the UK, you will go through border control before collecting your luggage. There will normally be a specific queue for nationals of countries outside of the European Economic Area. A Border Force officer will look at your passport and check your visa or entry clearance. They may ask to see documents relating to your studies and your finances, so we advise that you carry them in your hand luggage. For example, you should have a copy of your final award letter and a copy of the unconditional offer letter from your university. It is likely that you will then need to travel further before reaching your final destination. The UK has an extensive rail and coach network which can be used. However, your university can also give you detailed advice on travel, so we would recommend that you research your onward travel options through their websites. Many universities have a meet and greet service where you could be met at the airport or the local train station, so please do ask them about this. Soon you will receive a cash card that is unique to you from your embassy or High Commission. A cash card can be used to pay for items in shops, or you can use it to purchase items online. You will be sent instructions from your programme officer on how to activate the card, and you should follow these instructions carefully. Once your flight is booked and you have activated your card, Chevening will place funds on the card before you are due to arrive in the UK, so that you should have instant access to cash as soon as you are here. More information about this will be sent to you by your programme officer nearer the time. All scholars will receive a cash card, but please be aware that the payments that the Secretariat makes to each one will depend upon the terms of your award. Always check your award letter to see what funding you will receive, as awards can be different. You shouldn't assume that your award is the same as everyone else's. You should also note that the cash card is an interim measure to allow you access to funding in the initial stages of your scholarship. As soon as you reach the UK, you should also be looking to open a bank account. Arriving in the UK may be a completely new experience for some of you, and adjusting to the differences can sometimes be challenging. Culture shock is a process that most people go through when they experience a change of environment. At first you are likely to be excited about the new things that you will experience in the UK. However, after a short while, the differences you are experiencing can become unsettling, and you may start to feel homesick. One of the key things that can help if you're feeling homesick is to keep yourself busy. Regular exercise is a good way to take your mind off feeling homesick, but you could also join the clubs and societies at your university so that you are getting out and about and meeting new people. You should use your support network to help you if you're feeling the effects of culture shock. This network includes each other, as your fellow scholars will know exactly what you're going through, and you can also use the Facebook group to get in contact easily. You can always contact your program officer, and your university will also have a number of services that you can access, including international student advisors and counselling services. Keeping in touch with family and friends at home will help, and bringing some photos to the UK, and Skype is also a great tool because it allows you to see them as well. Finally, this may seem a strange thing to mention, but the weather in the UK is often unpredictable and you need to be prepared. When you arrive here, it will be starting to get colder as we head into autumn, and so we suggest that you bring a few items of clothing with you that will keep you warm and dry at this time. You can then buy anything else you think you might need once you have settled in. The coldest daytime temperatures are in the period from November to February and are usually between 2 and 9 degrees centigrade. The climate during these winter months can seem harsh, and wet or windy weather can make it seem even colder, yet the spring and summer months can be relatively warm. To keep warm in cold weather, wearing several layers is key. You could wear t-shirts or shirts under a jumper with a warm jacket or coat over the top, depending on how cold it is. A waterproof coat, an umbrella and strong shoes are also useful in the rain. You are now nearly ready to start on your Chevening adventure. Always remember that your program officer is the person that you should contact should you have any queries, and they will always be happy to help you. Do keep in mind though that each program officer has over 130 other scholars who will also need their help and support, so please be patient if they don't respond immediately. They will make every effort to get back to you as soon as possible. We hope that the rest of the process goes smoothly for you, and we look forward to welcoming you to the UK later this year.